Quick game and guess the song. Correct. It was Joy to the World. Thanks for playing. I'm not really one to cry at television and films that much, but there's a few times when I actually do. The time when Mufasa dies in The Lion King still gets me. The moment in The Greatest Showman where Hugh Jackman starts singing From Now On at the end of the film. What a moment. And then there's a TV program called Undercover Boss, and it always makes me cry. And if you've never seen Undercover Boss before, it's the story of a CEO of a huge company like Tesco or Domino's Pizza, and they go and experience what it's like to be at the bottom of the company. So the CEO of Tesco might go and spend a week in a local store stacking shelves on a night shift. Or the CEO of Domino's Pizza will go and deliver to a difficult area of London until early hours of the morning. And they go and spend time with the people that do it day to day. And at the end of the show, the CEO goes back to their office and they call in the employee that they've worked with all week. So Sandra gets a phone call and says, "Sandra, I need to see you in head office." And you can see her reaction as she steps into a big office, and Dave reveals that he's the CEO of the company. And Sandra immediately thinks, "Oh my goodness, what have I said? What have I done?" And there's an incredible moment where Dave says, "Sandra, you've worked faithfully for 35 years stacking shelves. We are going to send you on a management course so that you can progress and one day be a store supervisor." But then more than that, Dave also says, "And Sandra, because you haven't had a holiday in a long time, we're going to send you and your family on an all-inclusive 10-day cruise around the world." And at that moment, that's when it gets me. I'm like, Sandra, have the greatest time. And the reason why it's beautiful isn't because Sandra gets all this free stuff. It's because Dave steps down from his place of authority and goes to be with his people. And at Christmas time, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. Emmanuel, God with us. God steps down from heaven to be with his people. Jesus is born in Bethlehem. Jesus comes to experience what it's like to live and breathe as a human, to experience what we're experiencing, so he knows what it's like. But Jesus doesn't come down for a social experiment. He's not here for a good time. He has a purpose. In the Bible, the angels describe this moment to shepherds as good news that will bring great joy. It's good news that brings great joy because it doesn't depend on our performance. If Sandra hadn't performed to her best, or if she slated the company and she spoke badly and she didn't do her job well, then the meeting in the office right at the end would have been very, very different. But with Jesus, it's the opposite. There's nothing from God saying, if you are like this, or you act like this, or you do this, then this gift is for you. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, so that whoever believes in him shall not die, but will have eternal life." For God so loved the world, not they were good enough so he went. Emmanuel, God with us. It's not based on what we do. It's not based on how we act. It's not based on our performance. It's good news that brings great joy, and it can have a long-term effect. Merry Christmas, young people, and we will see you tomorrow.